So, important things happening right now, I guess. I updated my Rust compiler version from 1.30, or was it 1.31? I don't know. I think it was actually 1.31. I've upgraded to 1.32.0 instead of 1.31.1, since 1.32.0 just came out today. So what's cool about the new version of Rust is that there's a new DBG macro which allows you to just basically do like print line statements in your code, but it's much cleaner. And you can also use it to wrap like expressions, and the expression will still return the same value, but you'll be able to see the entire expression, and it'll also show you what that thing will evaluate to. So that's actually really handy. So for example, like your if condition, if your if condition is somewhat complicated, you can wrap a DBG around that, and it'll print that out to the to standard error and show you exactly what value is being returned. Obviously, it's just going to be like a true or false, but at least you can see the entire expression, so you know what's going on. You know where this DBG came from. So that's one of the cool features that was added in 1.32.0. The other big change that I noticed was the switch from jemalloc, or is it jemalloc? I don't know. But they switched from using jemalloc to using I think the system allocator for your system, so that's good, I guess. It seems like it makes binaries smaller, and in general that seems to be a good change. Is it jemalloc, like jebated? Because that's what I think. I hear, or I see that word, and I'm just like, jemalloc. I don't know why I think of things that way. Anyway, I just wanted to give a brief update while I have Rust, well, not Rust, but I have Mini-rando building in the background here. So this is building on the new Rust compiler version. And I am very excited to be able to try out the DBG macro. It seems like it'll be very useful, and it'll make debugging some things a lot simpler, I think. At least it'll be less time consuming. You don't have to like fish around for like, should it be colon question mark or question mark, or yeah, or whatever else. And being able to just like wrap expressions like that is also super nice. Obviously, it's not meant to be used in production code at all. Like, you shouldn't just leave DBGs lying around all over the place. So that's an extra thing to look out for now, or something to watch out for. Probably could be caught by a linter. I think it'd probably be a good idea if they added it to like Clippy. But yeah, it's generally just a good little tool for when you need to like debug something quickly and be like, hey, what's wrong with what is the value of say like button ID or something, and I can just wrap that in a DBG and then run the program, and then it'll just print out, which is pretty sick in my opinion. Definitely looking forward to trying that out. The other new feature that got added, it wasn't as big of a deal, is something to do with the new module system, where you don't have to use like self or super or crate at the beginning of the path anymore. There's there are options, like if you have an enum defined, and then you go like use and then the name of the enum : star, it'll import in all the variants or something. Didn't really seem useful to me, but I don't know. It seems to be part of their let's make the system consistent. So probably good changes, and they also did say that that was the last of the module changes that they're going to be making, so I'm kind of glad for that, because I don't want to be messing around with that so much in the future. But yeah, anyway, that's a Rust Edition 2018 thing. It's not something that we have to deal with right now. So, actually I'm kind of curious. Let's, since supposedly I should be able to just use this new DBG macro, yeah, look at that. Let's see if it actually works. Let's do this. This looks kind of fun. I wonder what that's going to print out. What? Oh, it only works for things that implement debug. Oh, of course. Okay, so it's not as simple as just, yeah, wrap it in DBG and everything's good. You still have to make sure that you're implementing debug. Okay, so not quite that simple. Well, that's okay. I mean, you kind of have to expect that not everything's going to have like a string representation straight off. Well, unless you're coming from another language where everything has like a default 2-string implementation or something. But yeah, that's I'm sure that'll be a useful tool at the very least. So next order of business is what's coming up next for this project. I guess I should still deal with this progress stuff. Not quite sure how that's going to work. Yeah. I'm actually not sure if this really matters even. Well, this is being loaded, so I guess I should probably be worried about that. But anyway, that's probably more something for like some kind of load state for main menu load state. I should be able to do that pretty easily from now on if I want to. My biggest concern right now is, does that prefab handle that I added here actually do anything? Because I added a was checked handle, and I wanted to be able to test like what is going on with this. Can I do anything with it? How will the prefabs here work? So we're gonna try and figure out how was checked works, and then the next thing we're gonna do is, I think we're gonna actually get into learning how to render sprites and stuff. Because my next big goal is to start getting tile map rendering working. So yeah, still a whole bunch of cleanup to do. That kind of stuff I might actually just do off camera on some other days when I'm feeling like it. Because it's pretty simple stuff. It's the same kind of stuff I've been doing all along up to this point. So yeah, let's just try and figure out how this prefab stuff works, and then we're gonna start digging into using or like learning how to use tile maps and rendering that to the screen. And then after that, I think once we have the tile map working and rendered, I'm gonna start rendering other things like items and whatnot. So I want to. My primary goal is to get usage out of this statement right here, because right now we're generating the locations and stuff, and that's cool. Like that's critical to getting the game working and you know, because that's the core, that's the essence, the soul of randomizer. You know, it's the actual randomizations, the mixed up item locations and stuff. But we need to, like, you know, make it real, you know? We need to actually show something to the user. Or the game player, I guess, in this case. Yeah, so I need to actually start making what I used to consider real progress. I wouldn't consider that, well, I mean, I consider it real progress still, but I consider a lot of other things real progress. I was a very impatient person. I guess maybe I still kind of am, but you know, I want to be able to start using this stuff soon and actually seeing it show up, just as like to give myself a bit of an idea of how things are gonna shape up. Sort of like a POC, you know? Like, yeah, things are actually doing things. So first order of business is we gotta use this. We gotta use this was checked handle somewhere, somehow. And thankfully, we already have access to this, even in on start here, because we did the load of this handle earlier in the previous state, and then we passed ownership of the handle over to play, and to do that we used the awesome take method that I learned about yesterday, Or not yesterday. Wow, it has been a while since I last worked on this project. By a while, I mean like a few days. But yeah, we learned about take. Take is super cool. I did a little bit of research on my own and learned about mem replace, or no, mem swap, and it does something pretty similar, although it's more like the Indiana Jones kind of thing where you take one thing but you have to replace it with another thing that's of the same type, so that nothing bad happens. So similar, but arguably not really that useful if you use it in that way, because at that point you might as well just be cloning, in my opinion. I mean, unless it's like a collection type or something that has like a dynamic size, and well, even then you might just have like a pointer, right? So I don't know, it is interesting. Anyway, moving on. We want to get this was checked handle in here. So was checked handle. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm doing stuff with it. I know you're supposed to clone handles, and then you're supposed to do stuff with them. And I completely forgot what that actually does for me. So let's go look at the examples again. What's that puffy one? It's not puffy. GLTF, here we go. Also, I did a bit of reading up on GFX HAL, since that's the new big thing for Rust and graphics. Seems like HAL is lower level than GFX RS, because it's supposed to be like supporting Vulkan, and Vulkan is more like an assembly language for the GPU than OpenGL is, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. But it seems like it's pretty it seems like it's pretty new and probably not very stable. They said they used a lot of unsafe code in it, or at least potentially unsafe code, so I don't really know much about GFX HAL, and I'm not sure if they're gonna switch Amethyst over to it or not. But yeah, there's a lot of like new libraries being made for Rust right now, especially things like Nitric, which is supposed to be like more general than specs kind of thing. Interesting stuff floating about all over the place. I'm not switching over to any of that, unless I guess Amethyst switches over, then I don't really have much of a choice. Oh yeah, GG Easy also, so it seems like development on that project is going to be ramping down significantly, because the creator said he's pretty busy, he has other commitments that he's more interested in working on, and yeah, so it sounds like the project is going to be kind of put on hold, or it might not even, or he might just get so busy that he doesn't really work on it anymore. So it's kind of unfortunate, but again, I'm pretty much settled on Amethyst at this point. Don't really want to be switching around too much. But yeah, just recent events that have happened in the Rust ecosystem, or the Rust game dev ecosystem at the very least. Interesting stuff. So. What do I do with this handle? I can clone it. Why does it have this as ref unwrap? It's kind of confusing. I don't really know why they would do that. Is it because it's an option? Maybe that's why. Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. So they're unwrapping the option here, which is a bad thing to do. I don't like partial functions. And then they clone. That's the scene handle, and then they create an entity with the scene handle and then call build on it. Okay, that seems really easy. Let's give it a shot. So let Handle. Oops. Oh, whatever. Let's just call it handle for now. Let's just see this thing in action. That's what I want to see more than anything else right now. Was it create entity? Yep. With handle build. And now supposedly we've just created an entity with this handle. Now the unfortunate part is that it's just a boolean as far as I know. the was checked is literally just a flag that, you know, I can throw onto something and say, hey, look, you know, was this thing checked or not? So that's kind of, I'm not really sure if that's actually useful as it is, thinking about it, because this boolean is always going to be false by default to begin with, because nothing will have been checked when you start the game. The stuff only gets checked when the player actually, you know, interacts with it. But at the very least, it's a proof of concept, so I can see how this works. I want to see this entity being used now. Where does this entity actually get used? Okay, they use a finder, tag finder, animation marker. Interesting. Oh yeah, that's the initialized thing that they were doing. Yeah, not really a huge fan of that, but it's fine. I don't have to follow their style of code. And I think I was trying to say programming and code at the same time and went prog. Which I could have easily saved by saying programming instead of just prog, but I'm an idiot and I decided, yeah, let's just, you know, not save it at all. Let's not even think about it. Good job, me. So if animations.animations.len is greater than scene.animationIndex, let animation equal animations.animations.get. Why am I just reading this code out loud? It's like, it doesn't really make sense to just read it. I have to actually understand it. So they have an entity here. I don't really understand where Puffy comes in. I mean, like, Puffy is loaded at that point, I think. Toggle or cycle animation. So what happens if it's initialized? Then it doesn't ever run this code. It just always returns none. So this happens in... Oh, this happens in handle event. Ew. Wait, what's self.entity? Huh? Wait, yeah, the example has an entity. What is this entity exactly that's being used here? The type name itself is not very descriptive because entities, well, just an entity. Where is self.entity being set? Here, huh? Okay, that's interesting. It also doesn't really answer many questions. Well, that entity would be the entity that goes into here, and I assume that the entity is Puffy because there are no other entities available to be used. That's weird. Animation marker? Well, we have an animation marker here. What about the scene prefab data that we created? What about that? Where's that go? We do this update and then we return true for remove. Okay. I don't really understand what's going on here at all. Yeah, ECS is kind of confusing. I'm gonna have to look around. Although I have done similar things already where I've gotten like components from entities, right? Like I'm pretty sure I have. Was it like world.get? I can't remember. Well, there's so many things here. Hey, look, you even have the access to the parallel iterators and stuff? Isn't that part of Rayon? I'm not using Rayon, I don't think. Interesting. Well, there's so many things here. Oh, you can fold options? Huh. That's cool. I don't know why I'm looking at this now. But... nope, there's no get. What is with this? I forget what I'm supposed to do to work with entities. Where did I last touch, yeah, where did I last do this stuff with, like, thing? I can't remember. It was in some class somewhere. It wasn't this one, I think. There was a system that I added somewhere. Yeah, well, that took like inputs. Was it for main menu? Or I thought I added a system for doing that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. What? Am I going crazy? I'm pretty sure. Okay, maybe this one. Maybe not. Or no, wait, was this it? No, this is not it. This is not it at all. Okay. I thought that I wrote a system for handling inputs at one point, and now I'm not. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I did do this. I remember now. Okay. Wow. I'm not even sure that this stuff, I really need this at all, but I have it here. Yeah. What is it? Events not read. Is this an entity or not? No, it can't be. I'm doing an unwrap here for some reason. I think that's bad. Shouldn't be doing that. Transforms.get. Oh yeah, you get like a storage and then you call like .get on whatever. That's right. So I need like some kind of was checked storage, I guess. And then I can get stuff out of it. Wow, I really don't remember anything. This is not a good idea. Okay. Nope, I don't know what I'm doing. It's a very common theme with me. Yeah, and then I did the build, and then what? Read storage my component. There we go. And then I can get an entity out of it. Or I can get the component from the storage. Got it. Cool. It'll be very useful to have documented here. So I want storage, which is equal to world.get. Does it get storage? Read storage. I turbofish it, and I give it was checked, I guess. I think that makes sense. Maybe? I hope so. What I'm assuming is that there's some kind of from impl for this handle that turns into a was checked, and then I can just go ahead and do a... Oh, whoa there. Are you okay? What's going on? Unresolved reference was checked? What? What do you mean? Okay, well that works, I guess. And then after that we get storage.get. Right. And then give it the entity. And that should do it. Oh, and then, right, we need to actually unwrap the value. And this should be a was checked, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Will it be? Or is this going to be a compiler error? What is a was checked anyway? I don't remember at all. It was under prefabs. It was okay. It was just a struct with a bool in it that says was checked, and it's not even public, so I can't even access it if I wanted to. Well, there we go. Have a was checked. Are you complaining? Ooh, I found a reference to was checked. Ooh, that's right. I think there's get and then there's get mute. This is a we're borrowing was checked. We're not actually gonna do anything crazy with it. Yeah, we're gonna just we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I went there. We're doing it. What was it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. We're gonna try out the new DBG macro. Introducing the new DBG macro. Allows you to debug your code more easily. Still incurs a runtime penalty if you use it in your release builds. Well, that's okay because you're not supposed to do that. I was surprised to see how many people were complaining about that. Apparently some people have projects that run so slowly in debug mode that they have to run it in release mode to even use it. I was kind of surprised to hear that, but apparently that is a oh no, it broke, it panicked. Is it because I panicked? Yeah, it is because I panicked. Okay, so that's not exactly what I expected. I mean, it definitely isn't what I expected. But what am I supposed to do with the handle then? With the prefab handle. Okay, I want to know what to do with prefab handles. What's the thing on prefabs? Doesn't really say much about it. Loading it. Using loader plus asset storage, or using the helper prefab loader, which is a simple wrapper around the former. For this to work, we need a format that returns prefabs. Huh. What if I'm not using a prefab loader? I have a prefab loader system, but I don't have like a prefab loader. Managing the returned handle. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I did that. What if I want to, like, you know, do something with it though? Huh? What about that? I might actually want to, you know, use my prefab for, or like, edit one of its properties. Prefabs in this engine are pretty interesting. Doesn't work though quite the way that I expected. A little bit more complex, but I think once I get the hang of using prefabs, it'll be really, really nice. It'll be easy. I just need to figure out this one thing that's just driving me crazy, and that's how to actually, you know, get the component out here. So I guess Puffy is our only hope. Wow, I never thought I'd say that. Let's put all my faith in this one puffer fish. Who would win? One Rust developer or one Puffy boy? Alright, so GLTF scene loader system. Prefab loader system. I'm just reading off systems. Where is this entity being loaded from? Scene. Oh, hello. Wait. What is scene? Has a handle and an animation index. Where does it get this from? Right resource. And that's a right storage. Sets. Controls. All I have to do is look up GLTF. I didn't find it. I thought for sure it would use that GLTF somewhere. It doesn't. I was tricked. Wait, is this not how you're supposed to use prefabs? Am I crazy? Am I not doing anything right with prefabs at all? Animation set, U-size transform. For real? So it does have transform. What? Wait, what? What did I do wrong? I'm really confused right now. So my prefab data was supposed to have components? Was the what? Did I do something completely wrong? Did I misunderstand how this is supposed to work entirely? Because I would not be surprised if I did, but I'd also very much not like it. No, this is a component. Was checked is a component. So, like... What have I done? What have I done? What do? Was that not supposed to be the component? Is there another example I should be looking at, maybe? Go back to this example, because this one was a good one. Also, yeah, let's go into their other state here, their running state. I need to know. I need to know that I haven't just goofed. Basic prefab, or basic scene prefab, and it has a vector polygon text. Okay, yeah, something is not correctly lined up in my brain. But what am I looking at though exactly? I'm supposed to be looking for basic scene prefab vec pause norm text. Because they have a handle for UI prefab. They have a handle for prefab running prefab data, which is just this basic scene prefab. Okay, where is this guy being used? Constructor. Oh, you can just use self here? Oh my god, I've been spelling that out every time. And I could have just been typing in self. Man. What a world that we live in. Initialize prefab. Cool. What about, you know, do something with prefab? No? I'm afraid I'm doing something wrong here. That's the only other usage of that too. So initialize prefab gets called. Oh boy, where is that called again? It's called an onStart, I think, right? Yeah. Right there. I did a goof. Oh, then I had to worry about timing and everything, deltas, all that good stuff. Fantastic. Oh wow, you can actually specify 20 frames between UI updates. Interesting. What is in this prefab that's actually being used? It's just like a vector of pos norm text. Am I not understanding prefabs correctly? Because I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I've used prefabs in Unity, and I'm pretty darn sure I know what they're, what they do and like how they work. I mean, I've used some prefabs to create the UI elements even. So like, I'm like positive that it's supposed to work the way that I think it's supposed to work. What am I'm missing something. That's just how it is. I'm missing something. Could it be that this needs to be prefab data and the actual was checked component is something else? I don't quite understand. Well, I know why the expect failed. It's because I didn't get what I wanted out of that storage. The storage was supposed to get a was checked, but it didn't. I got nothing. Or maybe I did get something out of the storage, and I just don't know what that thing is. Well, at the very least, I know that in was checked there was no, the entity was not stored there at all. Which means I goofed. I don't understand prefabs. I don't understand how to use prefabs. At least in this engine. It's not clear to me. Poo. How did the input thing work? I should probably stop soon, actually. Now I'm looking at the clock. I'll stop maybe in like 5 minutes. I just need to think about this though. So here I get an event channel of UI events. I read the UI transforms. So what is it? What am I doing with this handle? Why do I have a handle? What is this handle doing for me? How do I use it? How do I use my handle? And this, yeah, scene prefab data is a collection of all this stuff. Including animation marker. I don't think I understand what the prefab component directive is for. That attribute that I added. I'm doing something wrong. This is maybe not something that I want to have here. I have all this stuff. Maybe deriving component is good enough for was checked, but I should have like a prefab data that includes a was checked in it. Yeah, I think my biggest problem right now is I don't understand what I'm trying to do here with these prefabs. And it is being loaded from some file, too. Where's Puffy? Yeah. You see, like, this says entities. Data? Well, that one only fills in light. This one only fills in GLTF. Wait. Am I dumb? Am I really that dumb? Or... This seems kind of weird, but I think I get how it works now. So you have a product of all the different types of prefab or like components that you might have. That's your prefab data. And then here you build up entities. And they can select from that pool of components that you put into your prefab data to build entities. So like this mesh right here, this is Puffy himself. Herself? I don't know. Itself. This is Puffy. This is just a light. This is... I don't know what this is. A camera, maybe? There's a fly tag on it. Or, yeah, this seems to be like some kind of thing that holds the camera. This is the camera. Yeah, oh my god. Everything makes sense now. I'm a moron.